So here we are. Welcome back to another small, sweet, and a little bit crazy episode of the Spiral Arrow podcast. This is just going to be a quick fire episode, as I believe that I have a thought that I must share with people. Like, for the first time in my life in a very long time, I'm excited about Tekken. Like, I never thought I would see the day that Tekken will be a part of my life yet again. I had a very strong love-hate relationship with Tekken 7. It was a game I believe started off pretty well, but with each subsequent season, things didn't really turn out so well for me personally. I didn't enjoy the game as much as each season progressed, and it felt as if the game was catering to the whims of the professional scene, and it became this relatively unfair game, and I lost love for it. Last time I played Tekken 7 was over 2 years ago, and I was not one to care much about Tekken 8. Those who've been on this channel can see that, I got to play in the beta for the Tekken 8 PC version, and at the time I was actually having quite good fun. It feels a little bit different from Tekken 7, but I can't put my finger on exactly what it is. Maybe it's the speed of the game, or just the fact that characters got some new moves, some fancy special effects, or maybe it's just because the game looks so much like Dead or Alive, a franchise that I love. So I'm not actually sure what's going on with Tekken 8, but there's something about it that's got a little bit of flair that I feel could maybe make me forgive the series. But anyway, I came here to talk about the AI. That is the only reason that actually made me consider getting Tekken 8 on release whenever it will come out. If you had removed the concept of the AI in the game, maybe this would have been a miss for me. But I don't know, maybe it's my life in the university, or me, the inner student in me, coming out. But just the concept of the AI is quite interesting, and I've been, as you can see, playing around with the AI, trying to figure out how much it can learn from me. So for people who don't know, the Super Ghost Battle is pretty much player versus computer. So nothing different, right? The only difference is that, unlike previous iterations of Tekken and previous iterations of various fighting games, you don't just pick the computer and set a difficulty slider on it as to how difficult it should play or shouldn't play. There's no like easy, normal, hard, or very hard computer. That's not the case with Super Ghost Battle. It takes a generic concept, so the computer of the character you choose to fight against, but then apparently there is some AI technology, some machine learning of some kind, that is implemented within the game. And in this case, this AI or algorithm that they are using picks up on like hints and tendencies from your gameplay. As you can see, you're seeing a mirror match between me, the Jin player, and the AI of my Jin. And, it's supposed to learn from you and play like you. Of course, there'll be some things that it will do which the computer would normally do. It won't just stand still when it doesn't know what to do. It will improvise certain situations. But it will pick up on your playstyle. It will pick up on your mistakes. It will pick up on your strengths as well. And it's quite interesting to me that they went this far, because this is something that you'd only ever find in racing games. Anyone who's coming from the racing game background, funnily enough, it's very few Tekken players who play racing games because they believe this Super Ghost Battle is something new. People who are coming from the racing game background already understand this from time trials and all other manner of game modes where you race against your ghost. So it's a very interesting concept, because just like racing games, it forces you to improve. I'll give you an example. Imagine you're playing Formula 1 and you get this lap where everything goes right and you take every turn the best of your ability, and you get a very good time for the lap on that track. and then your ghost appears. So now this ghost is on you, it's you on drugs, right? It's gonna get all the turns, it's gonna get a really good time, maybe a time you've never gotten before. Now you have to race better to beat that time. This is what Super Ghost Battle is. Now, initially I was skeptical. In my mind, when I played the closed beta, the AI ghost that I exported for a friend of mine to play against was really bad. And the ghost he sent to me was also really bad. So I thought to myself, yeah, it was expected. Maybe the AI isn't as good as, they said it would be. So I was skeptical. In comes the demo, I guess some revisions of the product later. And the AI is much more adaptive than I thought it would be. It was actually pretty exciting just how adaptive it is. It's really picking up on a lot of my tendencies. And for the very first time in my life, I can actually understand why I used to lose so much in Tekken 7. Like, I can actually see my mistakes in high resolution. So it's I don't even know how to explain it. To get to see yourself. Like, there are some times when this AI mixes me up or steps me in such a flamboyant way, and I remind myself, like, so this is what players were facing against when they were playing against me. You get to see yourself, you get to experience yourself, and that's an experience in a fighting game that I just haven't had, and I wish that more fighting games would adapt this moving forward. Of course, the older games are now, the technologies are dated, and it would take too much effort to try implement something like this. Makes sense. But just imagine for future fighting games going forward what this could mean. I mean, AI is revolutionizing the world as we speak. I mean, someone who's currently studying a master's degree right now, I can tell you for a fact that there's a lot going down with AI. And just imagine if, for example, Season 2 of Street Fighter 6, there's an AI ghost battle. Now you can play SF6 against yourself and try figure out your flaws. Imagine this in Mortal Kombat 1, There's just so much application to being able to play against an authentic copy of yourself, even if initially I thought like maybe this Super Ghost Battle would be like, I don't know, 30% of you and 70% improvisation. When I look at this gen and when I play against this gen, this is probably like 50% or 60% of my actual gameplay with 40% improvisation. And that's a very large percentage. For the first time in my life, it's like, I think back to the years of old, not so long ago, maybe 5-6 years ago. I did a lot of my practicing and a lot of my matching offline. Most of my skill in fighting games came from offline play, just me practicing against the computer or me in practice mode due to some reason like, inability to access the internet. Simple and straightforward as that. And it was very limited at the time in terms of what experience you could get from the CPU. And if you're not seeing anything new, it's really hard to come up with something new in practice mode, right? Now, the offline players are being given an option to play and improve substantially more without the need of a second person. You are your second person. That's amazing. But before I close this out, I'm gonna just add on one little thing. Coming from first-person shooters like Counter-Strike, we understand that there's a market for scripts. People are selling hacks, people are selling scripts. It's the reality of the world. Whether it be Call of Duty, Battlefield, Counter-Strike, the finals, you name it, scripts are out there and there's a market for them. Now Tekken 8 has this ghost system. You are able to export your ghost to the network for other players to play against your ghost. And you can also download other players' ghosts to play against them. In essence, you can get matchup knowledge or specific player knowledge without actually playing against that character in a lobby somewhere online. Because you can, for example, if I'm struggling to fight against Kazuya, I can just look for a very good Kazuya ghost, download it, and play against it, and I'll get matchup knowledge. For example, if in my fighting game community there was only one Kazuya player, and let's just say he didn't want to play me because he doesn't want me to catch on to his, shenanigans, I can download a Kazuya ghost from the internet. This revolutionizes so many things, except let's talk about the concept of a marketplace. Now professional players could train ghosts. They could train AI that mirrors them as best as possible, and they could potentially sell their AI scripts to the community for large sums of money. Because at the end of the day, right, who wouldn't want to beat Arslan Ash? Who wouldn't want to beat Nee? Who wouldn't want to beat Book? There are so many professional players out there, and many people are just watching them in tournaments, watching them in live streams. This game is the first time I could potentially have the chance to play against Super Akuma, knowing that I would have never met him in a lobby or never met him in any tournament. The professional players can sell their ghosts at whatever value they see fit. I hope people can realize the gravity of that situation. The more popular you are as a player, maybe you've got some unique playstyle, it means your ghost is more valuable. And people could create marketplaces in which they exchange, trade, or sell ghosts. This also opens up an avenue for fraud. Because now, let's take professional player number 1, right? Professional player number 1 is known for being the best Jin player in the world. People love him, he's popular. People are out there demanding that he upload a ghost of his Jin gameplay so that other players can learn how to fight against him, or they can challenge themselves and see if they can beat the ghost of professional player number 1. Now, publicly, professional player agrees, yes, I will train my ghost and upload it online for all you guys to see if you've got the guts to beat me. That's what he's saying publicly. But in private, he's training a ghost, not technically playing at his best ability. So he's kind of half-assing the ghost. So now he creates this AI, this ghost, that's maybe 30% of what is actually in terms of his skill. He puts it up on the market. He claims that this is my ghost. This is it. I've trained the ultimate Jin ghost, and I'm selling it to you guys for $100 a download because I'm the best Jin player in the world, so I can demand whatever I want. Little do people know they're playing a ghost of him that is not really as good as he actually is. They struggle for some time and they manage to beat it. People celebrate online. We beat the best Jin player in the game. We beat his AI. In comes professional player number 1 again and is like, I noticed that you guys beat my ghost. Man, I need to step up my game. It seems like I'm not the only number 1 player in the world. All you guys out there are doing so well. Maybe now people think they can beat professional player number 1 in tournament. They get big heads. They're entering tournaments trying to rank up, and they're losing. But they don't understand. Like, I beat the best Jin player's ghost, but yet I'm still losing in tournament. It doesn't make sense. And then he comes in and says, I've done some improvements to my gameplay, and I'm uploading another ghost next month. Please, all the players who are eager to level up with me, buy my new ghost, $200 a pop. This is how fraud begins. Players are being lied to. It's similar to the fitness industry. People see so many fitness influencers, and the fitness influencers are saying, oh, if you want this physique, just eat chicken and broccoli and you'll get it. They're not talking about the steroids. They're not talking about the PEDs. People eat chicken and broccoli. They don't get the physique that the influencer has. The influencer releases a new book with a training program, sells that book for thousands of dollars. People buy that book. They realize that they're still not getting the physique that they need. The influencer comes in and says, hold up, it's not just the book. Now you need my diet program as well. Sells the diet program for thousands of dollars. People still don't get the physique. And the influencer is like, wait, there's one more thing you guys forgot. And that is my supplement line. It's more thousands of dollars. So this AI fiasco is gonna be amazing if it's what I think it is. Anyway, this was a short fire episode of the Spiral Arrow podcast. I hope you enjoyed, and we'll talk more when the game comes out. Until then, peace out.